Okay, first off, we had Jonathan Adams with the $10 super chat. And
Appreciate
he
it.
says,
Heck yeah.
which variable is the most impactful to an event feeling like a major? 1, the course design. 2, the course's look. 3, the payout amounts. 4, the top tier players present. 5, the swag, tents, I'm guessing just etc. And 6, the marketing for the above. So the marketing, yeah, just the marketing.
Personally, I think the most crucial from that list is the field, because if you have everything in the field's not there, it's hard to generate hype. Which I would assume is that a similar thing for you, Brody? Do you think the field's the most important?
I think I was going to do field and marketing as one too.
Yeah, that's where my head's at. Because I think field's crucial. I think the course, the design and everything of the course is crucial, but the history of the course is the big thing. Because I think for people who've been in disc golf a long time, a major coming back to WR Jackson, there's a lot of history on that course. So when I see hole 1, it like brings back nostalgic memories. There's been majors out there. The National Tour finale used to always be there, stuff like that. The same thing can be said about Winthrop. When USDGC's there, it feels nostalgic. But a big part of that I think's a big part of the nostalgia that I think's missing right now is the marketing. Because like the week of the Masters, that's all you're seeing everywhere. Their TikTok account is, popping off with these ASMR type videos, getting the course ready. Everything surrounding the course, surrounding the history of the event. And I think that's what's missing right now that could make these, like Champions Cup, for instance, because it's coming up, feel like the next level is like if we were showing the great moments that have happened at WR Jackson and we had like these highlight packages coming out and we had like, it doesn't have to be TikTok, but stuff like that on the course of getting the course ready, some really scenic B-roll stuff going on.
I think the Pro Tour posted a few highlights from past tournaments. We actually were talking about this a little bit.
That's an interesting one. Well, I guess because it's on the Disc Golf Network is why the Pro Tour's promoting it.
Yeah, but I think we had this discussion, and I think it's an interesting one of where the sooner we can get these courses to where the sooner we can get these courses to where the layout doesn't change all that much. The only thing they might be doing is moving baskets back to make them harder or moving tee pads back to make them harder. If that was the only thing they were doing, right? If we got to that point, I think that would be incredible because then you can actually like start looking at scores. And we kind of got into that like the ratings debate a little bit. And I think one of the reasons why people don't use past scores as often is because the courses change so much. So it's hard to have, Augusta, again, like that course does change, but the majority of the changes are like adding trees, taking trees out, moving tee pads or, tee boxes back. The majority of their changes over the years have made the course more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But they've never like made a par 3 a par 4 or taken out 4 holes and added 4 new holes. And that's a very, common thing when it comes to disc golf. And I think that matters. I think like us going Worlds, right? Like we went and played the Fort in Mulligans. Was that the first time the first time we've ever done that?
Yeah,
Wasn't
Mulligans has been played, but not for Worlds. In the Fort, I don't think it ever been played.
Had never been played, right? This year, what are we doing at Worlds? We're playing a course that's literally just been created.
Yeah, it's like Jones. It's Jones. So it's on a property that's been played before, but the layout's never been played before.
Well, it's a complete they laid new tee pads and stuff, and so it's complete. I think that matters. I think having history matters, and you look at the one major that you guys always talk about, the one tournament that you guys always talk about, and it's USDGC. Now, obviously, there's been some changes and stuff, but they've been minimal. It hasn't been that much, and you can go back years and years and years and see shots that matter. So I think the sooner we can get these courses in like championship level layout, the better. Because then if someone goes out and shoots a 57 at WR Jackson, you as a viewer kind of have an idea of like where that is on a scale you don't need the rating because, again, I don't like that. But you can have that as a scale of like, that's one off the course record. The only person to shoot under 57 was blah, 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 who shot a 56 in 2019. You know, like
Yeah.
you can start having those storylines of only 20 people have ever shot under 60 at this course. And this guy, and then you can have that, you can build that storyline into where it's like, this guy's on pace. He's 8 under through 12. Like, I think all that stuff just adds to it. And like you were saying, just having a tradition, having the idea of like, when you step onto hole one, you're like, wow, like that means something. This, I've seen this shot a bunch of times. This is the start of the major, the Champions Cup.
Well,
so
that's what,
I don't know. We'll see. It sucks that they're literally like
moving
having
it
the tournament
immediately
here and then it's gone. But if they can figure, if it turns into like a rotation of a couple courses, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
If it's like 5 years, every 5 years they bounce around between these couple courses, I think that's fine.
Yeah, but the courses need to be the same and be bouncing from. We're going. I think the next one is at. I think it's the Deglow course. I think it's the next course. But if we're going W.R. Jackson, Toboggan, and then we're going somewhere, we'll just use the Thorn, the Texas State's course. We'll just throw that in there. If it's like those 3 courses are the Champions Cup courses, then you can build that history still, because you can be like, oh, the last time the Champions Cup was at the Thorn, this is what went down.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll put it this way too: when, as a disc golf fan, I've been to several pro tours. I've been to several events now. The only event that I've ever stepped foot on the ground and been like, holy crap, like I have so many memories of watching this, and it just feels so different. Like, oh, this is where hole 2 was, Winthrop. I remember I walked up to, we parked and we were walking up by hole 7. I'm like, oh my word, there's the triple Mando. And then we immediately, you make the walk to 17. I'm like, this walk, no wonder they talk about this walk so much. The walk, like, there were so many moments that had been ingrained in my head of watching it that by the time I get there, it was like I knew the entire course and I got to experience it for the first time. And because of the history of the event, it made the event feel so much more special to me. Then I see hole 1 and it's right next to hole 2 and hole 18, like put this whole perspective in my head of, I'm like, this course is nothing like I expected. But when I walk onto some of these other courses, I don't remember the holes at all because I've seen them in Pro Tour events here and there. They're changing a lot. You know, as a fan, I was nowhere near as into disc golf as I am right now as far as like knowing about course layouts. So, but the only reason I knew that much about Winthrop was they talk so much about the course because the course doesn't change that drastically. There's been some years where hole 1, it was hole 3, and we went into this weird field and all this stuff changed drastically at Winthrop, but the layout for the most part, hole 5's hole 5. When you say hole 4 at Winthrop, everyone pictures the same hole. That's the type of stuff that I think really helps majors stand apart and helps set them apart, is like the history of the courses that we keep coming back to. And I think that's something that the Champions Cup, this being the first year, they do have a really good chance to establish. But like Brody was saying, it's got to start with, if we do a rotation, it's got to be minimal courses and the same courses, and we just keep going back to them. So you can recall those memories of when Paul won back in whatever it was on Deglow's course, the Toboggan, or so on and so forth. But
yeah, the two most important things when it comes to creating tradition, creating memories and stuff is the field, the people that are playing, and the course.
Yeah.
Like if you can create holes that you remember and you think about, that is, I mean, that's what it's all about. It's like, I can't wait to see what they do this year on hole blah blah blah, whatever it is. Like everyone knows at the Masters where I believe it's hole 12 where Jordan Spieth lost his, I think it was a 5-shot lead on the final day by hitting 2 in the drink. Like, same thing with USDGC hole 17. You know the stories of players that have gotten there with leads and threw it away. So I think the faster we can get these courses in shape to hold a championship, and maybe in the mind of the people making the courses, if they're like, all right, if everyone starts throwing 500 plus feet, these holes are going to get a little easier. So like what could like maybe have that in the back of your mind of where you could, if you needed to, extend and like push the tee backs back an extra 25, 50 feet to make them a little bit more difficult. But I think that's key. I think it's key to try to get these courses as championship level ready as possible. And I would say too, what would be really interesting is like you just mentioned Texas State's as holding the major, for example.
Mm-hmm.
What would be sick to see there, like that course was already pretty set up difficult, but there are a lot of things they could do to make it even more difficult. And so that would be sick to where the major comes in and you know that they're going to set up the course. They're going to add OB here. They're going to move this tee box back further. They're going to push this pin a little bit further back into the woods. And so now all of a sudden, like Texas State's, the winning score was, I don't even know what it was. 20. What was, oh no,
It was
it was
like close
30
to
something.
30. Yeah, 30 some.
Yeah, 30. So they make all these changes, and now all of a sudden the winner is going to be 18 under or something, right? That's probably a bad example because you would have to make a lot of changes to make that course.
Yeah,
I guess that
but
more difficult.
I get the gist. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying of where like that's to me. I don't think you want to have a tour course that plays there all the time, and then the major comes and they're literally just playing the same course.
Yeah.
I think you want to, for majors, spruce it up, make it more difficult.
Yeah, but still have it be the same essence of the course. So you get to hole
Correct.
1 and you still know it feels like hole 1, but now the OB is 20% tighter or something.
A little tighter,
yeah.
Because we don't have grass, so like grass doesn't really matter. So that's how they do it in golf. They let the grass grow out more in the rough for majors. So if you do get off the fairway, you're really screwed. We don't have that, so I think you pinch in, or you potentially keep the OBs where they are, and then pinch in with hazards.
Yeah.
So like you're a little off the fairway, you're in a hazard, you throw from there, and you take your stroke or something. Because it is difficult for open courses to like have that kind of penalty for spraying your shot, off the fairway.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Great question. Great topic.